Making money with Michelle. Making money with Michelle. Making money with Michelle. Making money with Michelle. Hey YouTube, how y'all doing? I am Michelle Morar, and today I want to talk to you about, can you pay off your mortgage faster? In 5 to 7 years? Is that even possible? Yes. 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 It's possible. But let's talk about the problem first. Let's look at the elephant in the room. Mortgage debt in the U.S. is at $15.8 trillion. Trillion. Mortgage debt is 7 times larger than student loan debt. I want to tell you a story. When I was looking into this program that I'm about to share with you, there was an ebook that came along with it, and I read the ebook. And the guy was telling how his vision started and why he even tried to find a solution for people to get out of debt quicker, faster. And the reason is this. He had a client, he happened to be a mortgage broker, and he had clients that he would see that would come back to him year after year. And at first it was nice to see them, and he was getting paid, and it wasn't bad for him, but he began to notice he had this one client that had come back several times and eventually came back, and he looked at his situation and he knew that he was getting deeper and deeper and deeper in debt, and finally he came the last time and he looked at him and said, "Okay, come and fix me, mortgage broker. I need help." And the mortgage broker looked and he looked at his situation and he said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." And he said, No, really, I need some help. Tell me what I need to do." And the mortgage broker said, "I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. There's no more equity left. You have used it all up." And he had spent money buying boats and cars and this and that and rolled it into his mortgage, and he no longer had any equity. And he was like, "I've got to have some help." And he was devastated. The man was devastated when he found out that he could no longer use his house as the equity in his house as a piggy bank. We have talked about this before. You cannot continue to use your mortgage as a piggy bank and rob it continuously. Let's talk about the student loan debt. There are many parents out there who they did not prepare financially when the child was first born. They didn't stick money away for that child's education. They could barely have ends meet. And then they got a mortgage and life started and they didn't put the money away. And now they have preached and preached and preached and told that child, "You must go to college. You must go to college." And they did not save any money. And now the child is ready to go to college. They're in high school and they're ready to go to college. And they don't have a rich uncle. And the parents rob the equity out of their mortgage to pay for the student to go off to college. And it's still not enough. It's still not enough. So the parents have robbed from their future, and the student has gotten into debt, and now they're responsible, and their future is in debt. There's hope. I am here to tell you today there is hope. There is a better way. January 2017, The average mortgage in America was $309,200. It was 4.1% was the rate, and that's a great rate, which would make that payment $1,494. If you take that, and I just rounded it up to $1,500, if you say 1,500 times 12, that would be $18,000 in a year's time. You multiply that by 30, and you are paying for that $309,200 mortgage. You're paying $540,000, which is $230,800 in interest payments alone. And everybody gets mad at the bank, but look, you're the one that took out the mortgage. You are the one that took out the mortgage. If you had saved up the $300,000, you would not have to pay any interest, but you wanted to live in that house. You wanted to enjoy it now. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. So there is a price to pay. And I mean, if the interest rate were higher than 4.1%, you can imagine you may not be able to get that $309,000 house. You may have to go with $200,000 or $250,000. But the fact of the matter is yes, you are almost able to buy another house. Actually, you could. It just wouldn't be as nice as the one that you live in with that other money. But you need to understand, this is the bottom line of this. Real estate is a core part of building wealth. So I don't want you to turn your back on having and acquiring real estate. But if it takes you more than 30 years to pay for your home, then it is going to affect you financially. I've talked about this before. This is 10 facts the Secure Retirement Institute gathered, and I'm not going to go over all 10, but this is the deal. 1 in 7 U.S. retirees age 65 plus lives in poverty. They live in poverty. Now, let's take a look. Let's assume that you can pay off your house in 7 years. I didn't even do the 5 years. I did 7 years. 7 years. So if you're taking $18,000, which is the 1,500 times 12, which is $18,000, and you multiply that by 23 because you had a 30-year mortgage and now you've paid it off in 7, you could have $414,000. $414,000. And that's just putting it in the bank. That's how much you would accumulate in that amount of time. And I can tell you, I could help you tremendously at 65 with $414,000 saved to not be in poverty. Okay? So it's important to look at this type of program. It's important to put this program to work for you because those dollars, it's called opportunity cost. When you take that money to pay for a mortgage, instead of doing it efficiently with the software program that I'm talking about, and it does have a cost, I'm not saying that it doesn't, but it is so beneficial to you because you will not be one of those at 65 who is going to live in poverty. You're going to have your house paid for. This also says, number 2, 44% of workers who aren't saving for retirement say they cannot afford to do it. This software will help you to not only improve your credit and pay off your mortgage and everything you have in 5 to 7 years because it does it efficiently. It gives you a roadmap to follow. It is easy to do. The number one reason why people cannot afford to do anything is because they misuse their money. They're paying tons and tons of interest because of the debt that they have. Because of debt. Number 3, More than half, 53% of Americans don't believe their savings and investments will last if they live to be 90 years old. 53%. Let me tell you one of the reasons why. One of the reasons is because they have such small savings and they think 90 years, I don't have that much money. I don't even have $1,000 a year to last. How can that? I mean, there's no possible way. There is a way, and I'm here to share it with you. Number 4, this is the one that really hurts my heart. I mean, it really hurts my heart. 30% of retirees have mortgage debt. That means they're over 65, and if you add 30 years more, then they would not even possibly have their mortgage paid for. And that's almost double from 1989. Those are the things I wanted to share because that affects your retirement. Your ability to retire or to retire early is affected by the amount of time it takes for you to pay off a mortgage. Now, let's assume that you could get out of debt totally in 5 years. Instead of a 30-year period, you have 30 divided by 5. You could potentially buy 6 properties. You could have 6 properties and live off rental income from 5 of those other properties while you live in the one. And they would be the same price as what you already had on your particular property. So they're nice houses in nice neighborhoods. Okay, let's say you were not able to do it in 5 years. You were only able to do it in 7. That means you could buy 4.2 properties. So you would have your own house and then 3 others to have rental income as opposed to just being able to buy one house. Now this is interesting. We said real estate is a core part of building wealth. Do you remember watching Chip and Joanna Gaines flipping houses and thinking, wow, that is fantastic. They have just great taste. I love to watch flipping houses. The average flip in America, you make $65,000 on an average flip. Now, if we look at $1 million, divide that by 65, it would take $15.4 $65,000 to get to $1 million. So that means that if you could do a flip a month, making $65,000 average flip, you could basically be a millionaire in a little over a year and 3 or 4 months. If you were not able to get the $65,000, if you were not able to get that, it would take a little bit longer. If you were able to get more than the $65,000 on your flips, then it would take much less time. But just $65,000 average flip, it could take, if you were doing a house a month. Now, if it took you 3 months, then it's going to be a little bit longer to do that particular flip. It could take a longer period of time. But even if it were 1 flip a year, I think you can do 2 flips a year. I think you could probably do about 4 flips a year. And maybe more. There's lots and lots of people that do way more than that. But I'm just telling you, you could, even if you were able to do it for 1 month, in a month's time, that would be a little over a year. And you would have $1 million, and that's plenty of money for you to retire on, especially if you're an average individual, an average American. But the whole point of this is this. We have to get you into paying down that mortgage so that you can use that money that is being used for your mortgage for your retirement and for your other needs. We have a program that is available. It will help you. It will show you. It's like a GPS for your finances. And it will lay out the proper way to utilize all of your money pay down all of your debts. You set the parameters, and it will show you. Now look, this is the thing. There are a lot of programs like this, but this is the deal. A lot of those other programs are attached to what is called a HELOC, Home Equity Line of Credit. The problem is HELOCs are right now very hard. It's a lot harder to get. You have to have perfect credit. You have to be working, all kinds of things. But I need to reach that individual who has bad credit. They still have a mortgage, but they are not spending each and every month more than what they make. They're staying in line with their budget. They're not spending more. They could have $5,000 income and $5,000 expenses, and we can work with that individual. But you cannot have $5,000 income and $5,200 of expenses. Can't work with that individual. But as long as you are even, I can work with you. It doesn't matter. You don't have to get a new loan to have this program. You can be debt-free in as little as 5 to 7 years. I want to offer it to you. I want to sit down and explain it to you. To get your free copy, just go to my website, www.michellemerard.com. I'm going to leave a link, and you reach out to me. It's contact me and say, look, I would like to get more information. And that's all it is. We will have a Zoom meeting or a join.me meeting. We will do it remotely. I don't have to come to your house, but I do need to talk to you. But this is exciting. You could be debt-free and able to start spending for your retirement so that you can get out of the rat race and save for your future. I hope you enjoyed this information. I hope this is as exciting to you as it is for me. I've been looking for this program for a long time, and I wanted to offer it to you. So anyhow, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the information. Like I said, reach out to me. Go to my website, www.michellemerard.com, and request more information, and I would be glad to sit and talk to you about your situation and give you what your roadmap may be like. Anyhow, I'm Michelle Merard. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit subscribe as well. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.